Welcome to the Insurance Wise Guys podcast. My name is Mike Lewis, insurance agency owner for Archibald and Lewis Insurance and your Insurance Wise Guy. On this week's episode of Know, Like, and Trust, we have Master Sergeant Joe Lewis, head recruiter of the Indiana Air National Guard. All right, our guest today is the current head recruiter for the Indiana Air National Guard, married to his beautiful wife, Ashley, father to a home full of 6 kids and 1 dog. Still shaking the sand from his boots from an undisclosed location. Help me welcome Master Sergeant Joe Lewis. Joe?
Yes.
How's it going?
Good.
Okay, so you're shaking your sand out of your boots. Where's the last time you deployed?
Oh gosh, last time I deployed was back in 2010.
2010.
Yeah, so I'm kind of a homebody.
So
I haven't really gone anywhere in a while.
shaking the sand from Florida out of your boots, right?
Yeah, more from Florida or Myrtle Beach.
Okay, so turn back the clock with me and tell me how you got started in the military.
Okay, so I was around 20 or so at the time, and working the factory job and saying, hey, this is not where I want to be in my life. Had felt that calling to go serve my country, and enlisted in the Marine Corps back in late 2003.
2003.
Yep.
In the Marine Corps. What was going on in the world at that time?
So we were fighting 2 wars, or getting ready to. We had things heating up in Iraq and Afghanistan. We had just invaded. As I was actually graduating basic training, we were just taking over Fallujah at the time.
Okay.
So spring of 2004.
Okay.
So it was a hot spot.
So how long were you in the Marines at that time?
I had just finished basic training, so we were right in the thick of things there. And then I deployed to Fallujah in that area, and then 2006 and 2007.
Okay, so you were active. You were over in the thick of it.
Yes.
Going on.
Yep.
Marines.
Yes.
All right. And how long were you? How long were you a Marine, or is it once a Marine always a Marine?
Once a Marine, always a Marine is what they say.
Uh-huh.
So I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps. Got out in 2008. Started working for the post office, kind of our family business, I guess you'd say. And shortly after that, re-affiliated with the Indiana Air National Guard here in Fort Wayne, the 122nd Fighter Wing.
Okay, so how did you go from the Marines to Air National Guard? You served your time in the Marines.
Yep.
You were 4 to 5 years and out.
Yep.
And starting with yet another government job.
Yes.
But you're looking at getting back into the military. What made you choose the Air National Guard at that time rather than going back to the Marines? Or otherwise?
So it was, after 4 years in deployments and trainings and everything was still going on in the world, I decided I was done in that role. I wanted to spend more time at home with family. Make sure that I was going to be here to raise the kids. Mm-hmm. Because again, it's a dangerous line of work, and I felt like I was at a different part in my life where now I wanted to come home to be a father.
So what year was this then that you have decided to join the Air National Guard at that point?
This is 2008.
2008. So
yeah.
Very, very close time between you got out and that you rejoined into that.
Yeah, within the same year. Again, I wasn't done. I wasn't done being in the military. Just wanted to, do it a different way. So, my 3 younger brothers were all enlisted out the 122nd in Fort Wayne. It was an easy transition. I stopped out there one night with a buddy of mine. He kind of showed me around and said, "Hey, if you want to do this, I can get you a number." So I called, and within probably a month, I was back in and serving again.
So, having gone through another military's organization's basic training, did you have to go through it again?
No, I did not. So, the Marine Corps is actually the only basic training that you'll never have to repeat another one. So, luckily, you're kind of grandfathered into everything. So, I spent 13 weeks in Texas learning how to load bombs on airplanes. That was the training I went to. Then back home, and then maybe 9 or 10 months later, I find myself deployed again. So
you didn't quite get out of that.
Yeah, didn't quite get out of it, and it's funny because, like we had previously mentioned, I haven't deployed in 9 years, 10 years, but I've got the itch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it ever goes away.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So when you joined the Air National Guard at that point, your job or was was bomb loading?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So I was.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I was a bomb loader on. We had F-16s. We were flying F-16s at the time, which I mean to me it was like the stuff you see in the movies. You know, you walk up to it and once you touch it and you realize what impact you still have. I mean,
It's really cool.
It's very cool to be able to do that. So, like I said, did that for a couple years, and then in 2010, transitioned to a full-time role out there as a recruiter.
So you went right from loading bombs
Yep.
to being a recruitment officer at that point.
Yes.
Okay, so talking about being a recruiter, how do you, not being 20 anymore,
Yeah.
how do you stay relevant to today's kids to convince them that, hey, this is cool, I'm cool, and you should give this a try? How do you stay current or relate to the kids today?
Well, it's hard, and I'm probably on the later part of my career as a recruiter because of that. Now you and I have talked, having kids that are now in high school. Our oldest is a freshman. You stay relevant because you're around. You hear the stuff that they're doing and they're saying. But it is harder to relate. I feel like I come off more now as a mentor or as a parent when I talk to the kids. And maybe they can appreciate that because it's different coming from me than probably their actual mom or dad. But yeah, you're not that hip, cool 20-year-old kid anymore that's relating to them. You're coming off more as an advisor.
But you know what TikTok is.
I have heard of it, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Does the military rely on social media to do some of that advertising, or
Yeah, so it's actually funny. When we first started, all of the, and I don't even think social media was a thing.
Right.
And now I've got them coming to me saying, hey, how can we stay relevant? What can we do with Facebook and TikTok and all these things? And I'm going, I'm the wrong guy for this. But
Right.
It's free advertisement. It's free advertisement. You can put something out, it's at your fingertips. You can get information out quick. That's how people want their news and their updates. So yeah, we're transitioning, and the Air National Guard, every branch of the military, they all have their own channels and for that.
So you talked about how when you started there wasn't even social media.
Right.
How do you compare today's military to what the military was when you started? That would be 17 years ago. How do you even compare the military as a whole?
Boy, it's tough. It honestly is. I don't want to say it's gotten softer, but it's more forgiving. It's more understanding. There's a lot of things going on in the world where, it was a rougher time. But then again, we were in the midst of two wars. So
Two hard wars.
Two hard wars. So you had to be. It's a lot more innovative. I mean, the kids nowadays are much more advanced. They're smarter than, they learn a lot more. They bring a lot to the table, but it's just different. It's more catering, I guess you would say.
So catering, softer, definitely has changed. Does that help or hurt current recruitment?
For current recruitment, it's fine. I would say that we probably have hard times in front of us. And what I mean by that is kids are not as resilient. They sometimes have a harder time dealing with the change in environments and stuff like that. So it could someday end up that you've got these kids that really haven't gone through a lot that are now facing very tough times on the battlefield.
And they just haven't experienced that in life.
In life, right.
So being a recruiter is kind of like being a salesman. What type of skills have you learned or been told or taught that really help you succeed in a recruiter's role?
Sure. Yeah, it is a lot like sales. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're selling the military. You're asking kids to come join and be a part of that. Some of the things that I've learned, number one is to be a good listener and an active listener. So by that, you really need to understand what is it that the kid or what are they looking for? What are they looking to get out of the military, so that you know how to then properly point them in direction and say, well, if you're looking for this, then we have this benefit, and if you're looking for this, then we have this skill training. Or you have to. It's not, you're not just selling benefits.
So what would you say to to an 18-year-old, a high school senior at this point? Why would they want to choose the military, in your opinion, versus going to a local factory and getting immediate money?
Yeah, I mean,
What's in it?
The first thing I'll always ask them is, what are you looking to get out of the service? Are you looking for educational benefits? Because we probably have the best educational benefits package out there. We'll pay 100.
What do you mean by that?
So the Indiana Air National Guard will pay 100% tuition to any public school.
Any public school, 100% tuition.
Yes.
For doing what?
For just coming out 1 week in a month, for being a part-time airman. By just joining, so you're going to basic training, you're going to your tech school, then you're coming home and you're serving 1 week in a month locally here in Fort Wayne. And the advantage then is that now the other 28 days of the month you can be a full-time student and we'll pay for it.
So how long is that process? Basic training, advanced training?
Yeah, basic training's about 7.5 weeks long, and then advanced training is anywhere from 4 to 24 weeks, just depending on how technical of a job you're going into.
So a few months, and the Air National Guard will pay for your entire schooling.
Yeah, they'll pay up to a bachelor's degree, again, at any of our state universities.
That seems like a no-brainer.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
That seems like a no-brainer.
And so, but some kids have they have no ambitions to go to school. So at that point, you could go to a local factory. I mean, a lot of those old jobs they're harder to come by. They maybe don't pay as well as what they used to. You could come into the military and you could learn how to be a machinist, an aircraft mechanic, a firefighter. There's all different kind of careers out there. Well, now you've learned a skill you can turn into a career.
So I see so many kids though going to school for a period of time, getting out, maybe not even getting a job in what they went to school for,
right.
But now they have $50,000-$60,000 of student loan debt.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's a real thing. So another thing we tell kids is, hey, if you're not sure what you want to go to school for, sometimes this will help guide you, and maybe you'll end up liking something you never had thought you'd have a future in. So again, a lot of times this just gets kids, it's a nice break between high school and going to college if they really aren't sure what they want to do.
What about the other kid that says, you know what, I have no desire to go to college, period. I mean, is it still a fit for him? I mean,
well, it is, like I said, because we talked about some of those jobs or skills they could pick up. You could go through our 13-week apprenticeship to, again, be a machinist, and now you're skilled on everything. So you could go to your local machine shops, you could go to Remke's, you could go to Melching, you could go to any of those and walk in the door as a skilled laborer.
So you can be a skilled tradesman, still receive that same training through the military, and walk into a free or a citizen's job at that point with that education already.
Yeah, and then we also talk about, a young airman is a good fit for employers because they know that hopefully you're responsible, you're coming to work on time, you stay out of trouble, you're drug free. We've kind of vouched for them to say, look, he's one of ours, so he's going to be a better hire than maybe the other guy.
Who is the military not a good fit for?
The military is not a good fit for, anyone who's not willing to come in and put something above themselves. So one of the core values of the Air Force is service before self.
Service before self.
Service before self. So that means that, hey, although I don't necessarily want to leave my family or I don't want to go do this tough thing, that's what my country needs. That's the sacrifice that we make, and as we know, not everyone comes home from certain things. So there's always that risk factor. But knowing that you're going to put the needs of your country and your fellow countrymen ahead of your own.
That sounds like a good reason to do it just in itself. Honestly, service before self. Military's treated you very well.
Yes.
And you still have several years of your career left.
Yes.
What does an average military person do? Like, how many years are they putting into the military before they're retiring, or what's the average?
Yeah. So to earn your retirement benefits, you've got to do at least 20 years, 20 satisfactory years in the military. Now I would say on average, the Guard is a little bit different because it's part-time. For some, for me, it's my full-time job. I'll probably end up retiring anywhere from 24 to 28 years total military service. That's probably going to be the sweet spot for me. We've got guys out there right now, guys and gals that have put in close to 40 years though.
Have made it their full career.
Made it their full career. Yep. But the minimum to retire to get those benefits is 20 years.
So you could, let's just recap this a little bit. You could join the military when you're 18 years.
Yep.
You could put 20 years in.
Yep.
Now you're 38 years old. You have a bachelor's degree, full education, paid for, and you can go get another job and receive military retirement.
Retirement benefits. Yep.
That sounds like exactly what I should do.
Again, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, you should probably look into that.
I think I will. I think I will. Hey, how do people get a hold of you if they wanted to talk more about the Air National Guard?
Yeah, so I mean, probably the best place and the easiest place to find us is actually on our Facebook. It's Black Snakes Recruiting on Facebook. Quick Google search to the 122nd Fighter Wing or the Indiana Air National Guard. You'll find us right up there by the airport. That can put you right into a virtual chat. You can call, leave a message. You can text a recruiter. Pretty easy to get a hold of.
Master Sergeant Joe Lewis, our own personal Captain America.